If you don't have a hobby, that's a problem. What the hell? What is this big bright yellow thing? It's warm. It's making my skin sizzle. Got a new batch of super glue. 2 more curtains done. These ones are going upstairs. Not bad at all. All right, 3 more to go. Last one. Finally. I can finally cross over the last thing on the list from yesterday. Oh, that felt good. I figure since I've done so many chores, I deserve lunch out at a nice place. This weather is making me regret going out for lunch. Only going over there. I forgot to take an umbrella, so I gotta make a run for it. Woo, made it. I figure since I'm here, I might as well get some work done. So I'm trying to initiate a couple of other projects to keep me creative. Still have a few things to figure out before launching them, but everything has to start somewhere, right? I got a lot of work done, I got a nice lunch, and I also get to think about the importance of having hobbies, especially on days like we've had lately when it's been raining a lot. Now, I've had quite a few hobbies in my days.
I am so impressed. Look at it. I'm so impressed. I'm so happy. Thank you.
It's nice, isn't it?
Oh, I've been dreaming about this for a long time. It's really nice.
When you're dreaming about curtains, that's when you know you live in a modest life. Alright, back to hobbies. When I was growing up, music really early on became a big part of my life. I liked listening to music, and I discovered early on that I liked playing music. So I taught myself how to play the guitar. I played in several bands, most of them not so successful. And eventually I got into writing and producing music. I don't do that anymore. I still keep a guitar or two close, just in case the urge gets back. And I have a couple of more of them back home in Sweden. So my interest in music is still big, but nowadays it's not so much playing music, more collecting vinyl records. So the majority of these records here are from the 60s. So that's one big hobby that I've had and kind of still have, but I'm not buying any records anymore, at least not in a greater quantity. The interest in 60s music and the interest in vinyl records spiraled into a big Beatles collection. Early on, I got all their CDs, listening to them when I grew up, and eventually I started buying their vinyl records. Since then, it's kind of spiraled out of control. So I have a bunch of each album they've done, released in different countries, different versions. In each of these drawers are even more records. Half of these, at least, are filled with Beatles singles. The interest in Beatles then grew into sort of a bigger collection, including everything that had a connection to Sweden. Everything is packed away pretty much, but it could be things like tickets, fan club letters from their Swedish fan club, pretty much everything you can think of that had a connection to the Beatles from the 60s. So I have quite a big Swedish Beatles collection that I'm actually kind of proud of, but I don't collect it anymore. Now that I talk about my hobbies, I realized that collections has always been a big thing. Going back even further, I collected Star Wars things. The vintage Star Wars toys. These are the toys I grew up with. This here, for example, was not included in my collection. It's the actual toy I had when I was a kid growing up. I had a huge vintage Star Wars collection once. Pretty much all the figures that was released, both opened and unopened. Every ship, every mini-rig, playset, all in their original packages. And I sold everything off, except for all the figures. So I still have all the loose figures, not in their boxes, but they're packed away. I've always been drawing and painting. Oh, this is actually Star Wars. Oh, so is this. So that's also sort of a hobby. The last couple of years, diving. There's a lot of dive equipment in there, I have to take my word for it. Diving has been a big part of my life, and that's probably been the main hobby during the last couple of years. But lately I've been doing more instructor work when I'm diving. Still it's a hobby, still it's fun. Even though it's not a job, a paid job, it still feels more like a job, even though I enjoy doing it. If you don't have a hobby, that's a problem. I think hobbies is a way of keeping at least me sane, and I think that goes for a lot of people. We need something that we can focus on and that can take attention away from our everyday work, the everyday grind that we all go through. I currently don't have one. I really need to find one.